Guys, khona into engitshela ukuthi MamShamase akasebenzi. There's something that tells me ukuthi MamShamase akasebenzi. Uyangisolisa. And MamShamase uyangisolisa ukuthi ilabo mama who would hide the fact that their husband is not working. Ukuthi amnikeze isidimanyana, amreservele isidimanyana. There's something about MamShamase hayi ngiyamsola engathi akasebenzi. Angazi noma nithole the same vibes yini. Yabona in that relationship leya MamShamase yena usebenzayo, she's the one that is taking care of everything, and maybe that's the reason enalenkinga with this chaka chaka dance girl umachiliza now chaka-chaking with that white dress efuna ukuza in her marriage to chaka-chaka in the marriage, because that's what she said, ukuthi ufuna ukudansa chaka-chaka. Sorry guys, I didn't have time to greet. It was hot tonight. Anyway, Sanibonani. My name is Mdletshe. And on this channel siyasibuka ama-reality shows ethu ala eMzansi bese sizala sikhuluma ngama-reality shows ethu, senza ama-reviews or recaps, siphinde futhi sikhulume nga-any other issues avukayo uma ngabe lama-shows esiwabukele kwi-TV. Uma ngabe it's your first time here on this channel, do not forget to press the subscribe button la ngezansi bese uyaphinda futhi press i-notification bell ukuze phela uthole umyalezo uma ngabe umsebenzi omusha sesiwufakile. Thank you so much, Mzansi Magic, for bringing back Ulinda Sibiya to host this reunion, because he is doing a good job. Well, a good enough job. Much better job than Umselegu did the last time that he hosted a tell-all. He's asking all of the good questions. I had some issues here and there with him, but we will talk about it as we move along with the episode. Honestly, guys, out of a 10, this episode, I will give it a 6. It was okay. They could have brought it a little bit, and I think they did waste some time, because we know that we're getting 2 parts of this reunion. They did waste a little bit of time in the beginning, which I didn't understand why they did that, but overall, he did try, Shem Costa, a really good reunion. In the beginning of the episode, Ulinda Spear is arriving. That's the part that I don't see why they had to show us that, when they have so many couples and whatever item that they need to talk to. I don't know why we needed to see Ulinda Spear arriving. I don't understand why we needed to see him have that conversation with Umselegu, saying he's back in the show and he watched the show, what he liked about it, what he didn't. Obviously, they are impressed about the fact that there is somebody that is not Zulu. Guys, it's a Zulu thing. Zulu think Zulu are the only people. We think it, but we don't say it. Like, ha, bakhona nabo abanye abantu. Oh, okay. Yes, that's the reason singakakhulumi even amanye language. We are still learning ukuthi kunabanye abantu here in South Africa, black like us, who have their own languages that we also need to learn. I am telling you, especially the older generation. So they're talking about that. They do mention in the Bayelo Kuzan. Guys, in the Waguti, they're impressed by the guy on a wheelchair. Honestly, you guys, that part irritates me. And I know that because I saw even last time in my comment section that it's not just them. Some of my viewers really don't get it. Guys, the fact that people would want to even mention, and there was also a guy in the wheelchair, that just shows how much people are not aware that, people that use wheelchairs are just people just like everybody else. But I do understand that other people just don't get that. Even the fact that they made it special just because he is in a wheelchair, there was even somebody on a wheelchair. But I'll pretend I didn't hear it, okay? So, and Umselegu says that was his favorite out of all of the men that came to the show. I thought that they were going to use this opportunity to maybe issue an apology or some kind of mhlampe ukushintsha statements that Ubaba Umselegu said about that situation at that time, izinto that he said and asked that were inappropriate. I thought they were going to use this time to correct that. They did not use it, which means up until now they probably don't see anything wrong with the questions that Ubaba Umselegu asked this guy, with the questions that Ubaba Umselegu asked his wife and his potential wife. Anyway, So they start with the big story, which makes sense because the biggest story this season, besides the last one, because the biggest one, big one, was the one where Umsele saw inkomo iningi. That couple is not there. They are not there. I did not see the wife. I did not see the girlfriend, and I did not see the guy, the screw guy. I did not see him there. So besides that story that they closed with, there was another story we premiered with, which was a story ska MamShamase no MamShamase and uMachiliza wanting to get in Isithembu, and MamShamase was not having it. She's there, MamShamase looking good, a weave on point. I don't know if it's Hole Gugu DJ Zintle or I don't know if it's DJ Zintle line or whatever, but she was on point in the lashes, the makeup. Oh, MamShamase looked like she had a black eye. Guys, correct me in the comment section if you didn't think that. Let me see, it was her right eye. Yeah, it seemed like it's her right eye. It looked like she had a black eye, but she had tried to cover it with makeup and it was coming off. So I'm wondering what happened to her face, around her eyes. It could be Uguti, maybe she got in an accident, hit something. I don't know, you guys. And also women nowadays do amalokuzan, what do you call it? Mabeo faka, you know, ama-injections ebusweni ukuthi babuke kahle. Maybe she did some of that because I've seen people kumanye ama-franchise ama-real housewives looking like that before they heal. So I thought maybe he did something like that because it was going to be on TV. It didn't heal on time. But also there was just that thing, Yoguti, I hope it's not Yoguti, something is happening between Nena and MamShamase at home, and it got physical because yeah, she did have something that looked like a black eye. I wish they had clarified what that is. It scared me when I looked at it, but she was looking beautiful, wearing black pants, black top, mama, and carrying a very small bag. She was on point. Even that first episode, she was on point to MamShamase because she's one of those women that's about you need to work. Don't wait for the 350 or whatever. Not that there's anything wrong with the 350, because listen, Master Lindum Sevens, you can apply for 350. Fine, so they start with that story, which makes sense because it was the first episode. But before they got into stories, Shamase no MamShamase, they just were finding out how people are doing. Apparently it's going well, because even the wives, when they were talking in the changing room, they were saying everything is fine. They are one big family. It means the wife is also there, the third wife is there. They were matching, they were wearing all white, all of them. So it's going well. And yeah, it was just everybody is fine, I think. So, but they are starting with a story sika Shamase, okay? And uLinda Sibika uqala ukubuza ngendaba yentshebe ukuthi intshebe isa right na kulokhuzana kubaba uShamase. And yes, and it looks like intshebe isa right ayishisanga. The reason for that is because on the episode uMamShamase said ukuthi yazi wena ngizokushisa intshebe. And now I did say, God, it looked like before they got deep into stories, while uLinda Sibika was asking every person what's happening with Isthembu, are they okay? Abanye bebethi there's problems, but they're still going to fix them. Ubaba uMsele say something yokuthi kahle kahle ngokwesintu indoda never asked for Isthembu. Before ngokosiko indoda ibingasicela isithembu, bithatha isithembu mayifuna isithembu. But now it's important ukuthi umuntu now abhekelele isimo somuzi wakhe to see ukuthi what would work better. So if you feel like ukucela from unkosikazi wakho to take another wife would work, that's what you must do. I don't know, you guys, because I did feel like it was a little bit misleading, that information, because as far as I know, ngokwesiZulu, yes, the husband needed to ask for permission from the wife. And I think there was somebody that even clarified in Dabayoguti, not in this episode, in another video on YouTube, to say, in fact, they would go as far as the wife being the one that would recommend a person or find a person for the husband if there's a need to his temple. So I don't know. I always just feel like amadoda don't really study amasiko ukuthi kahle kahle traditionally kuqala bekwenziwa njani izinto. Anything that they cannot explain right now why we are doing it and why we are doing it the way that we are doing it, they will say usiko, you know. And it just that statement didn't make sense to me, to say ukuthi indoda never used to ask for his tempo. So bekuvele kufike nje unkosikazi sezoshada. Like I don't understand. I don't think that it was ever like that. I think unkosikazi had to give permission ukuthi ene kucace umunye unkosikazi. I just feel like we are misleaders sometimes, and because a lot of people take him as the authority when it comes to into his tempo, they believe anything that he says. So I just didn't believe that. He never used to ask for his tempo. He would just take his tempo. Really, like something is not making sense for me there. Maybe bekuhluka ngeindawo nangegodi ukuthi kulesigodi uyamcela unkosikazi wakho kulesigodi akusiceli mhlawumbe umsele ku ngala komzumbe bebevele bathathe nje amakhosikazi without letting their wives know. But yena, he was asking for permissions from all his 4 wives before he was trying to take a 5th wife. Anyway, that's what he said. So now, just for those who didn't watch the original episode, uMachiliza, who is the side chick, because she is a side chick to MamShamase, had been with MamShamase for 8 years without umamkhulu knowing who is MamShamase, knowing ukuthi they are ilukuzana, they are dating. Also, I don't even know how I can say without knowing what she was a side chick. She is from Zimbabwe, umama uChileza, so uyasikhuluma isiZulu, but yabo i-accent le yaseZimbabwe, and then most of the time ukhuluma nesingisi. Kodwa ilabo sisabayithanda, yaye ngiyamthanda uMamShamase, ngifuna uqamba manga, but I've always said ukuthi I like number one, I like the wives, you know. I am from the wives till the end, you know. I am just team the wife, mina, you know. So now you can be team side chicks, it's okay, but for me, I am team the wife. So Linda Spear is making fun of I understand Linda Spear trying to make light of the situation and making jokes, but I do feel like he has to understand for these women, imishado yabo lena, this is their these are their marriages. They take them very seriously. The things that they were saying during the episodes are not necessarily supposed to be taken as a joke, because they were saying those things in desperation, trying to fight for their marriages, trying to fight for what they thought was their marriages. So sometimes he was making jokes, but the jokes were not really landing with MamShamase. One of the jokes that he was making, because MamShamase did say during the episode, umshado lona, she was pointing at her ring, listen, umshado lona, and also pulling a ring her husband and saying umshado lona. You can't just be going around dating married men, you know. And he was making a joke of that. I thought it was a little bit inappropriate, because MamShamase was very serious. Her face, it wasn't about joke. Benga joke according to him. And then yabuza ngentshebe ukuthi ayishanga uMamShamase, I guess she was trying to explain ukuthi, listen, I do respect ubaba kwami, and intshebe ngeke ngize ngishisa because ngiyayithanda. It was really, guys, if you are in a fight, you will say whatever, you know. And I think it was one of those situations. Do I think she is maybe abusive to MamShamase? I don't know. I wouldn't know it. But intshebe ikhona, meaning ukuthi akazange azayishise, noMamShamase said ukuthi intshebe azange izishise. So I guess ukuthi azange izishise. And then when they asked MamShamase how she feels about this, she still stands where she was standing, which is umshado wakhe lona, amukho umuntu ozofika azoba number 2, akafuna ukusizwa yena, akadinge ukusizwa futhi. And when they ask uMachiliza about, because uMachiliza is one of those wives ebezizocelela who was not very respectful. She was very ubetelela, you know, at that time. She says uMachiliza yena, the reason she ended up answering the way that she answered, because when MamShamase asked ukuthi ufuna nendoda yami ishadile, she said, I want the same thing that you want from him. And then uMashamase ke MamShamase waseshaya itafula ke lapho sekudliwa, you know. And she says ukuthi she wouldn't have responded that way had uMamShamase been respectful. So she feels like uMamShamase was being disrespectful. So you go to another woman's marriage to ask to enter her marriage, but then you are you expect to be respected in this situation. Guys, we have to remember that even though I am team the wife, at the end of the day, these men are the ones that bring another woman to the wives. So at the end of the day, the most disrespectful person in the whole situation is a man. Anyway, so she says that's why she was so disrespectful. She responded the way she did because MamShamase was not so respectful. MamShamase makes very good point. I guess valid points that she makes them. She's very stern in making those points because she wants them to be understood. She says, number one, my marriage is a no-go area. Okay, and you have to understand, Mawintombazane, if you are dating a married man, you are driving a company car, it's never going to be yours. No matter how many times you drive it, it's never going to be yours. At the end of the day, it's going to go back to the company, and her husband is her company. And mayikhuluma isiZulu akasho ukuthi imoto, uthi imoto. So ungayidrive imoto for 10 years kodwa at the end ka 10 years le moto lena akuyona eyakho, eyami le moto, because umuyeni wami lona, lo muyeni wami owami, you know. She was and then she says, wena nje into ongayenza machiliza bangakudla for free, you know. Bangakudla for free, bashaye ngawe up and down ngawe njena for free, uze uphelelwe naye, bakumoshela isikhathi uze uphelelwe isikhathi for free. Kodwa this company car, this motor lena, le motor lena eyam, at the end of the day akuyona yakho, you are driving a company car, understand it. And then she said, basopa machiliza kwami akungeni. You know, Mseleko always say basopa mamkhulu uzokwelanywa, basopa makoti uzolanywa. And she said yena basopa machiliza ikwami la ngeke uzongena. Okay, so in that situation, guys, ishow Mnakwethu is created to undermine a woman. You know, the worst thing that you can do as a woman, Mnakwethu, is to be a woman that thinks independently. You can be a woman that stands up for yourself. You can be a woman that points out when it comes to a situation is table. And that is the thing that happened with MamShamase, is that she stood firm in saying, I do not want this table. I have no intentions of going. I would rather divorce my husband than be Estenjini, like I said, like she's always said. So, and in that sense, Ulinda Sibia is exactly the same as Ubaba Mseleko. It could be that, and it could be because he is working under Ubaba Mseleko. They work under that same belief, so they feel like a man should lead. Ngisho ngalida ngenonsense, ngisho ngakulidela ehlathini, ngisho ngakulidela in the ocean to go swim when you cannot swim, ngisho ngakulidela emabhubesini amabhubesi ayokudla, ngisho ngakulidela enyokeni inyoka ikudla. A man is a leader nje bona, you know, ukuthi ukuphosa emseleni or is a leader. That's what they believe in. So in MamShamase trying to explain, because she was being firm, she was shouting, she was screaming, she was making sure that Machiliza understands my marriage is not is a no-go area. He ends up asking a question, who is in charge here, you know? Guys, you can be in charge as a man, you can be a leader as a man of your home, but you can never lead a woman's feelings, you can never lead a woman's thoughts. And even if he is a leader in his home, but is he going to, by him being a leader, does it change our feelings MamShamase about this temple? That it does not. No, it does not. So her answering and saying, I do not want is temple. That doesn't say anything about somebody being a leader or not being a leader. But I feel like that's what he was implying. If she's saying no, that means that she is leading. No, she's not leading. Even if she leads, that household needs a leader, because that leader that they have, they was just sitting there saying nothing when the leadership was required. So I had no in charge. No, Ubaba is in charge. No, Shamase is in charge. But remember, he never told me ever that he wanted his temple. So how is he going to come now and say ukuthi ufuna isithembu? Uyalida, yes, but akalide phela like you know sasivumelene from the beginning. It was just me and him. So now he is changing it and he's not leading well ekshintsheni kwakhe. So ke I have to stand my ground, and she did stand her ground, guys, and I like that about MamShamase. I don't know if I mentioned ukuthi uMamChiliza naye uMachiliza naye was looking beautiful, guys. She was ubezamile njena, but we don't care, you know. She tried to look beautiful, but we just don't care. You know, it doesn't matter. You umuhle so. Umuhle so, you know. And athi ke yena anyway uMachiliza is still emphasizing indaba ukuthi umamkhulu is not akahloniphi. So hlonipha ba, who are you? Anyway ukuthi umamkhulu akahloniphi. And they try to get uMamShamase to speak up ukuthi kahle what's happening here. Even your wives are fighting here. Yindaba ungawuthulisi lo msindo lo. Athi yena listen yena isithembu yasazi, so umsindo awumthusi and ukhulele kusona ekhaya. I feel like it's one thing ukhulele esithenjini, it's another to actually be esithenjini wena. My grandfather did have his temple, but I was very young at the time. And at the time, I didn't even understand that it was his temple. I just understood we had two grandmothers that treated all the kids the same. We had two grandmothers. Only later on, after they had passed, did I understand that it was actually two. Both of them were his wives. You know, that does not mean that I have any experience whatsoever in dealing with this term. No, I do not. So he's saying, and he has experience because he's seen it kubaba wakhe, I guess. And it's tembu stinga umuntu pants. I know, not that pants. You need to solve you can't just be creating problems and then bese uyathula ugoqizandla. Life doesn't work like that. Umseleku guys, like in the next lifetime they must just send him somewhere on the planet where it's only men that exist there, because those are the only people he has interest in his life. Those are the only people he has interest in understanding. He must go to a planet where there's only men, because he would do very well there. He says ukuthi lo baba lona uyambona yamazi masasho lo baba lona ngiyambona ukuthi isithembu uzoba nasi isithembu leso ngoba ukwehla kwakhe emseleku. We need a man that can solve. He created this problem, now he's sitting there quiet. How is the problem that he has caused now bringing these women together going to be solved with him sitting there and saying nothing? That was like a most stupid thing that I've ever said. Mseleku saying ukwehla kwakhe lo baba ikona kuzomenza ukuthi asithole. No, uyasaba ukuthi intshebe bazoyishisa. Usaba ukuthi bazomshisa intshebe. Engabe bakhuluma iqiniso, usaba ukuthi bazomshisa intshebe. So ubaba useleke is convinced ukuthi eventually isithembu salapha yana kaShamase sizolunga, because he feels like ukwehla kwaba. I don't think ukuthi ukwehla kaShamase mina is like okay, it's gonna work if ngithula. No, uyasaba uMamShamase akadlala kanjalo, because even embuka ubembuka uthi hayi wena siyayikhaya. It was that thing as khuluma nje uzobona sothi singena nje endlini, that kind of a look, you know. So I think they went on a break and then they come back. Linda asked uMamkhulu ukuthi okay MamShamase, since the last time we saw you, how many more times have you seen uMamChiliza? She says this is the second time. Ngamgcina ngalilalanga njoba ngimbona manje esefika nama chaka dress. Na chaka dress, guys, they didn't show us, bengifuna basikhombisa kahle in full. Ngimbona mhlawumbe uMamChiliza bekufanele ngathi ukuthi chaka dance, sibona chaka angiyazi njalo no chaka dance. I just imagine even chaka back in the days, you know. And she said because she's only seen her twice, and that time was the second time. That's when she said she would rather divorce ubaba kwakhe then ukuthi aqhubeke nesithembu. I think she just wanted to, no matter what they were saying, she was like, kodwa isithembu sona emzini wami, hey, I do not want it. And then they ended up giving omunye obepapa khona nje obepapa from the beginning umama. I can't remember ukuthi uhlangana nasiphi isithembu. I'll figure her out as we moving along. And bathe umangubane uthi yena umama you know when they comment on other people's itembu, she says she feels like she understands why MamShamase went out to find umachiliza. She feels like umamShamase uphakeme kakhulu, so she wanted umuntu okwi-level yakhe, and amadoda ayashoda emhlabeni, so asishereni indoda i-self esteem, like bengifile ngathi khona into la kumina ukuthi there's a woman who says that, like, wake up woman, like wake up, where is your self-worth, where is it? Let's look for it. Let's look for your self-esteem. Where is it? Is it in the pocket? Where is your self-esteem, woman? Where is it? So she says that, listen you guys, yabona nje ukuthi uyongena endodeni enonkosikazi uqede lapho uzokweyiswa unkosikazi wakhe because ubemeyisa ngayo yonke into, ubemeyisa ngento ayigqokile ngani ukuthi akasebenzi unjani and just sit there all because you want this man. It's not worth it, it's just not worth it. And then uMakhosika, one of the first wives, I guess in support of MamShamase, she was saying ukuthi umama leyo nto leyo yakhe awukwazi ukuthi wena sekuzoba wena manje uzothi lo uphakeme, because yena bethi ngoba uphakeme lokulungile ngoba ufuna ukudivorce akaphume emshadweni wakhe kungena umachiliza. Ulona uMakhosika like, you can't say that. Usekuwe manje uzotshela indoda yabantu ukuthi ayishiye bani ithathe bani, ekubenini the person that is being introduced kulesithembu lesi kwawuyena lo muntu lona akahloniphi, and uyasho ukuthi omamncane kinga abahloniphi bafika bephakeme bafike bazoshaya umthetho manje emzini yabantu. Okay, and all right, and then they go back to MamShamase. I guess also they were thinking maybe uzoshintsha at some point and say yes, and she wasn't changing. She was just like done. She says awusho ke nje intombazane ngoba phela efika the first time efika ezocelelwa, she said ukuthi uzosiza uMamShamase, uzongisiza ngani. This is where I suspected ukuthi there's so much discussions, especially when it comes to mention zezinto that have to do with imali. I do have a suspicion ukuthi uMamShamase akasebenzi and lo mama lo uthwele, so a lot of ulaka lwakhe might not even be only ukuthi uMamShamase ufuna unkosikazi wesibili nje, futhi ufuna unkosikazi wesibili but akasebenzi futhi, but you don't really want to say that about your husband because he is still your husband and you want to embarrass him but not that much. I feel like it's that situation. It's that uzongisiza ngani, awusho nje ukuthi yini lo uzongisiza ngani. Uthi umachiliza inkinga lo mbuzo lo wawubuza utheni wawubuza kuShamase, kufanele ubuze kumina. Uthi yena listen, awusebenzi wena and kuthiwa uhleli ulinda ukuthola u350 wena nje kusho ukuthi la kubabuShamase wawitshela ukuthi uyitholele ulokhuzana usugar daddy, uzofika lana ke futhi unjalo nje ufika ngama-chaka dress, ucabanga ukuthi uzoba number 2 wami ne-chaka dress. Guys, athi uzongisiza ngani? Athi hamba uyofunda, wathi hamba ufunda njengezinye izingane, hamba uyofunda. Indaba uthi awusebenzi nje uzolwela umende. Nami guys, I don't understand that. There's so much that we could fight for. There's so much that I can fight for in my life. If I had to fight that much for umendo, bye-bye mendo. Bye-bye mendo. But it goes both ways, you guys. Even I support MamShamase. I support their wives, you guys. And in their fights, I guess I do support them, but I wouldn't do it. I just wouldn't do it. I would say, I wouldn't sit there like and be fighting like that for a man. Now I would be done. By the time they do a reunion, it will be just like over because it's just not worth it. Futhi le ndoda nje ehleli lapha nithuli nje uyabona ukuthi yabona nje uyalwa wena njengenkosikazi uyalwa, stress ebesiphethe uMamShamase elwa today, but the man was just sitting there. That man was just sitting there, nothing. No, I wouldn't do it. Both ways, I wouldn't do it. On the day that they come to ask for number 2, I will fight just to say ukuthi Why did you have to embarrass me on TV? I would fight everybody, even the cameras. I would break the cameras. I would break Mselegu's knees and ankles, everything. In fact, they wouldn't show that episode on TV because I would be like, you're going to show this stupidity on TV. Not happening that day. But the reunion and stuff, by the time that comes, that relationship will be over. Like, I wouldn't even be there. So I do feel like all of these women are just fighting over men that are just not worth it, not worth it at all. So again, okay, and they asking ubabulona ukuthi hayibo phela responda baba nazi zitholana hayi machiliza shemu bethathu uyakhuluma vele bamthu thula ngisakhuluma, you know. And bamkhulumisa ngekani ubabashamase uthi ke listen yena she feels like abantu badinga ukuya yabo. I want to see umuntu ufanele mayoshada umuntu ayalwe kubo. Listen, uthatha unkosikazi wena, what is the plan as indoda wena? What is your plan on how you are going to resolve conflicts in your household? You can't do it every time something happens in your marriage you like, hey umuntu lo muntu kokufanele ayalwe ekhaya before azogana. If ushade 20 years ago, you think your wife still remembers what they said to her at home before she went and got married. Now develop some skills to be able to communicate with your wife and solve some problems. And some of these problems, it's you who have created them. But that's what he's saying. He's saying, no, labantu fanele bayalwe emakhaya mabeyoshada and whatever. So Lona ke ulinda space like, can you just do something? Babu Shamas is like, yeah. Can you just look at your wife in the eye? And then he was like, njoba ngisho uMamShamase umembuka ngaleyo ndlela ukuthi akobuyazi ukuthi sisazofika ekhaya. We are going home. You are going to see the flames. It's not going to be the flames. It's going to be angazi double the flames. We are burning the house down when we get home. That's the look that she had. And he was scared. Amtshele, what are you going to do? Are you going to take unkosikazi wesibili? Athi yeah vele, whether she likes it or not, I'm going to take the second wife. And then Linda Spears is like, okay, I get it, but ngithetshela yena. So can you look at her in the eye and tell her? She was sitting there like, but she had long eyelashes. Ayakhulumeke ubona ukuthi uyanqinqazela. After the akaqedanga nokuqeda ke, and then she was like, because he was trying to say ukuthi ngizomthatha umachiliza whether uyathanda. She was like, listen, amukho umachiliza ozayo lana, and ngiyazi vele ukuthi nina nithemba umuthi esho okomamncane ukuthi nina nithemba umuthi niyahlala lapha niphephethe umuthi. Yabo le ndoda le isasanganiswe umuthi, masiphuma la ngiye echibini uyakophalaza yonke lento emlokhuze ngayo izophela yonke lento lena. And you know, angazi ke guys noma uthakathiwe yini mina ubabuchileza. Mina bengangize ngiye elokhuzeni mhlawumbe echibini mhlawumbe mina bengizovela ngiye nje ugogo efanele nogogo ulona, ngoba phela sengisho ukuthi vele uMamShamase is not intending to go. She wants to keep her marriage. Iyagogo maweni nje noma ugogo Sikhotheni uthi gogo Sikhotheni ngilungisele le ndoda sengikhathele lokho khuluma ingilandela ama-chaka dance. So let's do the things, you know. Here is the picture. We must bring pictures. Yeah, here's the picture. Just fix him. Ngikhathele. I don't want to be on TV again. And again, okay. And then my khulumo machiliza, there was a time when she was trying to speak athi ubaba uyena ozodecide ukuthi ngiyangena yini. Uma wavela wadina kakhulu uMamShamase wathi hey baba ukunuka yini baba ukunuka ayibeshisa guys. So athi eneke umachiliza umama ukuthi uphakeme kakhulu. Listen guys, I do understand lento abayisho ukuthi ukuphakama, but if you are in a fight like that with somebody, listen guys, phakama MamShamase, you know. Bengifisa ukuthi ngabe uphakeme kakhulu kunaloko abekuphakeme. Yes, she was looking down at her. I think she should, you know. In that situation, that's the only situation I feel like you are justified to look down at somebody, because how are you here begging to be a second wife to my husband? How have you been a side chick to my husband for 8 years, knowing that I was there as a wife and you are there, and now you are here on national TV begging to be number 2? Yeah, I know bengizophakama futhi bengizophakama worse than uMamShamase. Phakama MamShamase, phakama kakhulu kunaloko kuphakeme. Next time uvela umphakamele even worse umachiliza uthi uphakame kakhulu. So wena ke uzokwehla. MamShamase into emphakamisayo enye, I think ilo mama osebenzayo, she's making money, she's taking care of herself, probably even taking care of her husband, she's taking care of her kids. So wena, because she feels like the reason ubaba uShamase has gone and found her umachiliza, she feels like it's because yena akaphakeme njengomamShamase. So what's the opposite yokuphakama? If ukuphakama ukufunda, owning a car, owning a house, taking care of yourself, taking care of your husband and your kids, what's the opposite of that? Yes, no job, no car, no taking care of yourself, no one uzokuthatha babShamase uyohlala emakhaya uzohamba ngenyawo ke wena ngephinifa. That's what you want in this time and age when ufuna lokho, because phela that's what the opposite is. And that's what she's saying, ukuthi ngoba umamShamase yena uphakeme yena uzokwehla, and she's the one that is going to end up being the wife for that reason. Where is the self-confidence? Under the arm. Where is the self-esteem, guys? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Yeah, where is the self-belief? Eh? Where is your self-worth? Can we find it for this woman? I couldn't find it. And then I says ubaba says good, okay, Sithembu is not about imali. He always says that, but we already know ukuthi kuSithembu sakhe had he not had imali baningi ngabe sebehambile laphayana, siyazi vele ukuthi baningi ngabe sebehambile. They won't say it, but we know it ukuthi he's been able to maintain that life because of money. But they always tell these men that Sithembu is not about imali, edlala ngawo, ebheda umuntu kakhulu futhi ebheda, it's not about imali Sithembu, you know. And but he has built those yellow houses for all of his wives. How did he build those yellow houses for all of his wives, you know, and bought other properties away from those yellow houses? But he says Sithembu is not about money. Edlala ngamadoda, eqamba mange emadodeni. Hey. And yes, that was it. I said it's not about ilokhuzana imali. Let me see if I made more notes. Anyway, guys, that was it. Honestly, like I said, this segment was mostly about umamShamase nobabShamase. Ushaya phansi ngonyawo ubaba umamShamase ukuthi cha ayizokwenzeka lento. Guys, listen, I do want for umamShamase, because she still wants her marriage to work. I hope that it does, and I hope nje ubabShamase uyakhohlwa le ntombazane at some point basiqhubekela impilo yabo ebikade imnandi without this girl. But at the same time, as a woman, mangisithatha mina and put myself in her shoes, umamShamase, I also want to be like to her, like, is it worth it, mama? Like, is it worth it? That's what I want to say to her, like, is it worth it? Ukuthi ulwele nje le ndoda le engiyisola nokuthi ayisebenzi, iqokiswa uwena, ifundzwa uwena, yonke into ngiyasola. Is it worth it ukuthi nje uzoxakekeka kanje on national TV for this man? As for umachiliza, I think umachiliza nobabu lona, they deserve each other. I think they do. And I would live it if ukuthi ubabu lona akasebenzi bese vele ayihambela lona sale ubabShamase with umachiliza bahamba uhlala emakhaya, ahambe ngenyawo le emakhaya ke that's what she wants. Anyway, that was the episode for today. I loved MamShamase, even though abantu bethe uphakeme, I've seen the comments. I love her. I love how she stood up for herself. She was just not giving up. Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for watching this episode. Tell me what you thought about it in the comment section. I do not know, guys, because if I look at it, I think we only have one more week. And then basically I can't understand how they're going to put everybody's story in one episode when with MamShamase they were only able to do their story in just the whole episode. But again, we'll see what happens next week. We thank God so much for because this reunion was really, really great. Thank you so much, guys. Please like the video before Mpumegona. Share it with your friends, with your family, and even with strangers. Ntando kakhulu.